Tonight's Tipline investigation required the perfect balance of tact, compassion, and courage. It all started when a viewer called our newsroom trying to help two Solvang women with a very difficult problem. News Channel anchor CJ Ward joins us now live to explain in more detail. CJ, hi.
Well, Beth, this problem was first presented to me as a problem about a squatter, but the more I looked into it, I realized the guy wasn't a squatter. He was really a trespasser, and he had no right being there in the first place.
And again, you go back to...
Paulette and Erica Miller live in Solvang on an acre of land. Paulette's husband, a former U.S. Marine colonel, died years ago. And since then, she's devoted her life to church and helping the homeless. Now, one day back in February, Paulette noticed something strange.
I went out into the patio, and here is an electric cord going out to the back acre. And I'm like, what's this?
Paulette followed the extension cord through a gate, a bunch of trees, and discovered the other end was connected to a trailer at the back of her property. Paulette says she started to cry and confronted the man inside.
He said, well, I was going to ask your permission, but I knew you'd say no.
He had it delivered to our backyard without our permission or without us knowing.
Erica Miller says the man was an acquaintance of a person renting a room at their house. Turns out the two men had met in prison. Now, the Millers say their property has a separate entrance in the back next to a "Do Not Enter" sign. And the trees block the view from the main part of the house, and that's why they didn't see the trailer.
He was very polite and said that he would remove it within 3 days, he said.
But the Millers say that didn't happen. They kept asking him to leave, and when he didn't, they called the sheriff. A deputy came out, but the guy wasn't there at the time. And the Millers say the deputy eventually suggested they evict him.
We have to get a civil situation, like hire a lawyer, but we don't have enough money to hire a lawyer like that. And I know it's very expensive and long process.
Instead, they wrote up their own 30-day notice to vacate and posted it on the trailer door. And that was back in March.
He read it and everything, and he said, and then he wrote me a letter saying that he was going to move out within 2 weeks, and he said a lot of stuff in that letter.
Here's the letter. In it, the guy promises to be out in 2 weeks. He also admits to using meth.
It's not just
2 days later, Governor Newsom issued the COVID-19 stay-at-home directive. And the Millers say that's when the guy refused to leave, claiming they couldn't kick him out because of the governor's order.
With COVID-19.
About the same time, Erica says they noticed he had connected a hose to their house and was using their water.
I told him he couldn't, and he came down and he was yelling and swearing at us because we weren't going to let him use the water.
The Millers say they can hardly afford the water and electricity they use. At one point, Erica posted about their nightmare on Facebook and received support through hundreds of responses. One of those people apparently called News Channel 3, and that's how we got involved. We did some digging and quickly found out the guy in the trailer has a long criminal record involving guns, violence, and drugs. Now, the Millers admit they didn't know the full extent of his troubles until we told them.
We don't want the guy to get mad and maybe retaliate against us or anything. And
they were definitely scared. So we came up with a carefully drafted plan, and we contacted the sheriff's office to let them know what we were doing just in case. We helped the Millers write a forceful, straight-to-the-point letter which gave the guy 1 week to vacate. It also included my cell phone number if he had any questions about the story I was working on, and a sheriff's deputy stopped by a few more times. Now, the guy never called me, but he did get out by the deadline.
I could not believe it after all the struggles we had and all of the time we spent trying to convince him to leave, that you got him to leave in a week. It was just awesome. And with complete politeness and no hassle, nothing. It was just amazing. I can't thank you enough, seriously, seriously.
And you probably noticed that we have not identified this guy. We have not named him. There are a couple reasons for that. One of them is that he did leave quietly this time, and we'd like to keep it that way, at least for the Millers' sake. Also, he did apologize. He said what he did was wrong and that he's trying to have a new beginning in life, and we certainly hope that is the case. That's another reason we're not going to name him. Beth, before I throw it back to you, I just wanted to thank the Sheriff's Office for their guidance and their help during this whole thing. Beth, back to you.